The hand of God. That's what they called this. I want to talk about this before moving on from this subject because I think these conversations should never go away until justice claims are met. And this hand of God was seen as a very compassionate thing, which you can see in a certain way it was maybe the best they could do in a situation, but it reveals something much bigger, and that was we lost a lot of our elders during this pandemic, and they were alone in these hospital rooms. It was very hard to watch because if you question the administration, everybody was into the most extreme form of gaslighting. That's all I just felt so much deception going on. I couldn't pinpoint exactly. I just knew so much was wrong in the beginning. And just watching people dying in hospitals alone without visitors. They would give them an iPad to visit with their families via iPad. And I recall a little lady that had come in by herself because they didn't allow her family to come up from the ER when she was admitted to the floor. And I had to take care of a wound that she had on her chest. The wound was due to tape that she was allergic to. You've heard of people, and you may be yourself allergic to certain materials that they have in the medical tape. So there are various things you can do. There are other kinds of tape that you can use when people have these allergies. But because she didn't have any advocacy and she was nonverbal, they just slapped this tape, as they were I forget what it was, that maybe she had a port or something, and I just remember that her wound, it got bigger, it was just quickly that it happened, just raging wound, and taking care of that wound, and you realize her skin, as you get older, your skin is a lot thinner, and especially around your chest. That wound was starting to develop a depth, and my horror was like, what if you start to see her internal organs because this wound is just too, it's growing massively. And imagine this was all because of an allergy to tape, that if she had advocacy, that would be a simple thing that would have been expressed somehow, because I don't think it was anywhere in her history, or I don't know if the ball was dropped or whatever. But those are just some of the things, that come to mind. We lost, like I say, elders, and that is bad for a society to lose their elders at that pace, just wiped out. That's memories that are wiped out. That's so much in terms of integrity to our just the fabric of our communities, our families. I know a lot of times older people are, marginalized, but not in all instances. They're very valued and important. And especially in a time where, when I think about the claims of identity and standing on lineage and things that are very important, and how much of our memory has been wiped. But back to this hand of God, act of love, as they say. A lot of people were impressed by that. They took the, exam gloves and filled them with warm water, 2 gloves, and tied them to the, palm of the hand, and as you see, the top of the hand, the dorsal part of the hand, and this is just something that I don't want people to forget, because that's something that the medical industrial complex, especially big pharma, they get 70 years of immunity. And 70 years is a little over a generation, well, almost 2 generations. And by the time those generations age and die, those justice claims die as well. I really want people to stand on their justice claims for the crimes against humanity that were committed during the COVID plandemic.